Commissioners. My name is John Wilson, the Director of Emergency Management. I have along with me today Mr. Gary Verna. He's our new Hazardous Materials Chief.
Welcome.
We're happy to have
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Do you want to, just before he proceeds, give a minute about your life?
My life.
Make
Wow.
it 30 seconds.
Wow. Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Lebanon County. My family's very deeply rooted in this county as far as public service and everything to go along with that, both social-wise and emergency services, first responder-wise. I've been a firefighter in the county for 22 years now, making myself sound old. I've been in EMS for 12 years. The last 10 was with First Aid and Safety Patrol. I was a lieutenant for the last 4 or 5 years as one of the first EMTs to be promoted to lieutenant. Had a wide array of incidents to go along with my 22 years total. So I'm just excited to bring my experience and leadership experience to the county for the team.
Very good. Thank you, and
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
The reason we're here today is a hazardous materials year-ending report that's required by PEMA, so that allows us to apply for their hazardous materials grants for the hazardous materials team. I'm asking for your approval to have this submitted to PEMA so we can continue to apply for grants. As you read through it, there's the year-ending collections of the Tier 2 facilities and the deposits that were made to the accounts and expenditures and so forth. So I'm asking for your approval to.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the hazardous material report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept that request. Any questions? John?
Yes, a couple things I'm curious about. Hopefully we have time to talk about this. The incident with the sulfuric acid the other week, and just the status of the hazardous materials in the state.
Okay, what's your question with the incident?
You know, I mean, that, it's not every day you get called out for something that
On my
big,
first
right?
day?
Yeah. Yeah.
In my years of training new firefighters and EMTs, you always want on the motto that what you saw on TV doesn't happen in real life. Well, anybody can tell you that I've worked with whatever happens on TV does in fact happen to me. So that was just fitting. Pretty much what happened with that was exactly what the state police reported that the driver said happened. He broke really hard suddenly for an accident that was up ahead, and something punctured 2 totes that was carrying the sulfuric acid, which caused it to spill out. When we arrived on scene, the driver was trying to contain it himself. We quickly pulled him back because of we weren't sure quite what equipment that we were gonna, or the personal protective equipment that we're gonna have to use to be able to approach the incident and contain the spill and stop the spill. We were able to do that. We were able to get the information from him. We immediately dispatched Lancaster's HazMat team because we have a signed mutual aid agreement with them. They assist us, we assist them, which we did a couple months ago at the Tyson Foods. Quickly, when all was said and done, as far as the containment of the spill and the stop of the spill leakage, didn't really take too long. Our crews really worked well together with Lancaster. They were really eager to get in there and, show what they can do, so to speak. And then we turned everything over to their cleaning company, their cleanup company. Nothing was affected. We had DEP out there. Nothing as far as their level of concern was affected. Nothing in any waterways or any livestock or anything like that wasn't affected, and there was no chance of them being harmed after we did the initial containment. I was contacted, yes. Were they on?
PEMA was not there, it was DEP.
DEP.
DEP was,
Yes.
okay.
DEP. ASAP.
All right.
Yes, so, but everybody, all aspects of state government, county government, and volunteer firefighters, Ono, Lickdale, Indian Town Gap was out there to assist,
Yeah, everyone
First Aid and
worked
Safe Patrol, everybody worked well
Good.
in all aspects of it. I was very, very pleased for being my first incident on my first day, how well everybody worked together, and just the excitement everybody had to work together and get things done.
Status of the county's HazMat certification with the state.
This, we had our inspection, and we had our drill this past Saturday, which we passed. So everything, there's a few corrective actions, paperwork-wise, but other than that, we're gonna be recerted, and we're gonna be here for another 4 years, and if I have anything to do with that, longer than that.
Did extend thanks to Gene and, you know, for his getting the extension of time and also working with us so well as a partner in this thing to get us through it. So that was done on Monday, I think.
It wasn't a very, very large leak, and you seem to minimize what occurred out there. However, 2 lanes of Interstate 81 were shut down for a while. Why was that?
What happened was, it was 500 pounds total that was leaking, or affected. So there was still about 100 pounds in each container, so 300 pounds spilled out. What we faced was a storm coming, and with sulfuric acid, it reacts with water. Now, obviously, you put enough water on something, it's gonna dilute it out. But with the threat of the type of storm we had coming, and you could see it down the interstate, we had to work quickly, but we also had to take care of our crews there. Why shut down both sides of 81, both southbound and northbound, were because with the water and the rain that already happened there and the ground being wet, it created a smoke, and it was going on to the other lanes of travel, and just cars traveling on the other lane driving into that smoke. And I'm not saying that it was hazardous to breathe or anything, because at that point we didn't have any of our air monitoring equipment. We weren't able to deploy any of our air monitoring equipment, and that happened just like that. So just to be safe, as precautionary measures for the transients and the citizens of the county, I thought it was a good idea that we probably stop traffic, both for responder safety and safety of, like I said, the transients and citizens of the county. As far as what was on the street or on the road, that stuff was all tested with pH paper, and you know, initially I can't speak for the cars driving through, but that's how we set up our hot zone, warm zone, cold zone, was by testing that pH paper and what was on the ground. So if it was more hazardous than you know, that if it was hazardous enough where we couldn't operate, we would have been farther back. But we had a pretty good handle on the situation and what was spilled and containing the spill.
I do have one other question, and I don't know if, John, maybe you want to address this. There are a number of counties that do not have HazMat teams, and they contract services out to a provider, and some say that in some cases that's cheaper than having your own HazMat team. What are the advantages of having an in-county hazardous materials response team as opposed to contracting out services?
A faster response, for one thing, to mitigate the problem faster than having a response team coming from
Pittsburgh,
from a contractor
wherever.
or somewhere far
Yeah.
away. Even though the law allows them 2 hours to respond, if they don't respond until the 2 hours, they still have 2 hours to arrive on the scene. So potentially an incident could take 4 hours for anybody to do anything with it. Whereas the county team, you know, as soon as we're dispatched, within usually 20 minutes, the team's responding to the call.
Would that reflect your response to this sulfuric acid incident on the interstate?
Sure, we were quickly responded to that incident, and we got the information from the fire departments as to what they seen there, and established the zones, and started to do the cleanup much quicker than a contracted team coming from further away. We have to wait for the cleanup teams to come in, and we already had the incident under control prior to the arrival of the cleanup team that come only from Harrisburg.
There was probably a good hour and a half that we had they contained and stopped before the cleanup control, the contracted cleanup unit came.
Our team does the suppression and the holding of the incident, the cleanup team actually does the cleanup. We don't perform the cleanup, so.
Because of the fact that the Swatara Creek flows underneath Route 81, and a lot of the incidents do happen on Route 81, and our drinking water is oftentimes drawn from the Swatara Creek, I think it's also extremely important to have that fast response of containment so that our water supply does not become contaminated. And below us is American Water Company. So they're protecting tens of thousands of people, and when it comes to drinking water supply.
Yeah, and we don't just have hazardous materials technicians. We have also 3 specialists. They get their hazardous materials technician certification, and then they go on further for specialists. And there's various topics you can become a specialist in. And I'm proud to say that the specialties that they've chosen are ones that directly affect Lebanon County.
Your approval to accept the funds for the Radiological Emergency Response Fund, which is the TMI funding that we receive every year. That grants a total of $15,018, and that's to do the calibration of the radiological instrumentation and metering, and also to update the computer systems in the Emergency Operations Center.
Also moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve that request. Any questions? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.